Hi guys, welcome to the second to the last video that we're going to have for Freshman English. Act 3 is known as the climax scene. Why? Because before this scene, everything's been really good. Romeo and Juliet meet, they fall in love, they get married, all in like a day. But there has been no violence, no nothing. This one happens really, really quick. Couple things to think about. Romeo and Juliet met, fell in love, and got married all between Sunday night and Monday afternoon. Things happen so fast that no one in the play really knows the full story. In dramatic irony. At the beginning of this scene, Romeo just came from the wedding ceremony, the first half. If you remember from last week's video, in Elizabethan culture, you had two parts to getting married. One, the ceremony. Second, the wedding night. If you didn't have the wedding night, you weren't officially married. He doesn't know that about Tybalt's letter to fight Romeo, and Mercutio doesn't know about Juliet. He thinks that Romeo is still lovesick over Rosaline. This is why he is going to take Romeo's place in the duel. So, scene 1. Mercutio has already said he was going to take Romeo's place in the duel. Who doesn't know this? Romeo or Tybalt. Romeo comes from the ceremony with Juliet, but he can't tell anyone about this until after the wedding night. When confronting Tybalt, he says he can't fight him and that he loves him. Dramatic irony, these two are related. No one else in the scene really knows what's going on. No one knows how to react to this, so Tybalt starts beating up Romeo, but Romeo can't fight back. It is here that Mercutio gets into the fight with Tybalt. Again, Mercutio thinks that Romeo is depressed and weak over Rosaline, but Romeo tries to stop the fight and stands in between Tybalt and Mercutio. Tybalt tries to stab Romeo because he's right there, and Romeo turns oh so slightly and ends up that Tybalt's sword goes underneath Romeo's arm and kills Mercutio instead. Mercutio's death was definitely an accident. Before he dies, Mercutio says to Romeo, "A plague on both your houses." What does this mean? He's mad because he was killed in the Montague-Capulet fight, and he wasn't even a member of either family. Romeo has to take revenge and ends up tracking Tybalt down and killing him. Remember in Act 1, Scene 1, Sunday morning, when the prince said that anyone that starts a fight will pay with their life? Well, this one, Romeo has just killed Tybalt and all this other stuff has happened. After everyone comes into the scene, the prince makes another speech. He is told by Benvolio about what really happened. Mercutio was a member of the prince's family, so he doesn't give Romeo a death sentence. He banishes him from Verona. If he's found in the walls of Verona again, he will be killed. Scene 2, in the beginning, Juliet is just anticipating her wedding night. Again, these two are only half married. The nurse in shock comes in and messes up what happens in Scene 1. Juliet thinks that Romeo was killed. After she gets the full story, she has second thoughts about him for 1 second, then defends him. She gives a ring to the nurse to give to Romeo so that he knows that she still loves him and the wedding night is, quote-unquote, still on. Scene 3, Romeo at Friar Lawrence's cell is crying because of banishment. Again, they're only half married. He's not officially married to her, and he will never be able to see Juliet again. The nurse gives him the ring, and Friar Lawrence advises him to go to Juliet for the wedding night, then get out of town. He, the friar, will smooth things over so Romeo and Juliet can eventually live happily ever after. Remember, he married these two teenagers. He is knee-deep in this, and he needs to help them find a solution. Now, Scene 4, this is another dramatic irony element. Paris comes over to Capulet's household, and Lord Capulet is really concerned about his daughter crying and keeping herself in her room. He believes that it is for the death of Tybalt, but really she's crying over Romeo. He decides, they have made no wedding preparations, but in this scene, Lord Capulet says, "What's better to cheer up my girl than a wedding?" So he plans a wedding between Paris and Juliet on Thursday. It is now Monday night. Scene 5, Romeo and Juliet have their wedding night and Romeo leaves town as promised. In walks, right after he leaves, her mother comes in and tells Juliet about the wedding preparations on Thursday. Juliet can't marry him. She's already married, but she is only 13, so she really can't tell her mom and dad that she got married in a secret ceremony. She just can't tell them. Lord Capulet takes her refusal to marry Paris very personally and says that if she doesn't if she's not there on Thursday, she's dead to him. When she pleads to her mother to delay her wedding, her mom said, "I wish you were married to your grave," aka, "I wish you were dead." Without Romeo, Juliet goes to the one person that she can trust, the nurse. This is a big one. The nurse betrays Juliet. She tells Juliet that she needs to forget Romeo and marry Paris. She's the one that helped these two in the first place. This is really not an option for Juliet because it's a sin. Juliet says that she will go to Friar Lawrence's cell for confession. He is the only one that can help her. If he can't help her, she's ready to kill herself. In her mind, that's the only option. All right. This chapter 3 will be due on Tuesday. On Tuesday, I will put chapters Acts 4 and 5. That's finishing the movie. If you guys have any questions, please let me know.